do you trust Trump's national security team to keep our war plans top secret?
Do you trust your mother every night to fix your Hot Pockets and make sure your Game Boy is turned on?
Shane, Shane, Shane. Shane, 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 Shane. A-L-A-N, Allen. A-L-A-N, Allen. Allen, 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 Allen.
All right, make sure everything's working. Let's see. Do I have the audio working? Yes. It's episode 49 of the 38th Parallel, and I am Shane, also known as the Hoppitarian, and I want to say that I had some sharp chest pain happening about an hour before we started. Right here and right here. So it is very possible that I could have a heart attack in the middle of this show. So I'll beat you to your death, Alan, with that clock running back there.
You only got 182 days, so
Yeah.
I mean, I'm statistically more likely to die before you. So
That is true. Yeah. So how's it been, Alan? It's been too long.
It has been. It's been. Well, I drove because I drove like 22 hours round trip.
Jeez.
Over. I actually left work. I went to work on Thursday and got off work and started driving and drove most of the way down there. And then I was only down there Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then on Monday, I drove the whole way back and then went back to work this week. So
Wow.
I'm still like, that whole thing of like, you need to have a mini vacation so that you can recover from your vacation.
Yes.
So
Yes.
I didn't have that. And B, I'm still in wired mode. Like this whole week, I've still been kind of in that wired that you are when you're traveling. So I'm so looking forward. My bed is just, it's calling me right now.
Yeah, it's interesting because you want a vacation and then you're on the vacation and then a few days later, like, man, I can't wait to get back to my bed. It's going to be great. And then you're leaving, you get back in your bed. And then like 2 days later, like, I want to go on vacation again. This bed's not that good anymore. Or it wasn't as good as the first time after I came back. Maybe that's just me, I don't know.
You say that, but at the first of the year, I bought myself a new mattress, and I got a plush mattress, which I had never had one before in my life. I've always had firm mattresses because that's what I had always had. So it's like, how it's like if it's just the way you've always had it, you just don't change because it's like, well, why would I? It's what I've always had. But I'm a side sleeper, and I've been having like some back stuff, and I had the mattress store person tell me, it's like, well, if you're a side sleeper, you really need a plush mattress so that it can like, conform to your spine and your hips and whatever. If you sleep on a firm mattress, you're not getting any support, and that's why your back hurts.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that sounds like it makes sense. It's not like I didn't even know to research it. So I bought a plush mattress, and it's been so awesome. And when I was down visiting my friends in Florida, I was actually staying with them, and their guest mattress, not only was it a firm, it was basically just a stone slab with a blanket on it. And I'm not complaining because it's super nice to have friends that will let you come and stay for a weekend.
It's a lot different.
Yeah. But it was bad. I didn't sleep. But it's also, it's also similar to like when we have our live event here in town, which is coming up, in May, where you get all your friends together that you don't see but like once a year or maybe not even that. And so you feel compelled to like, soak in every moment, right? Like, so you have all these activities planned, and you're trying to have quality time to sit down and talk with each and every different person that you're visiting with. so that you don't have those regrets of, oh man, I didn't really get a chance to talk to so and so, and oh man, I only saw such and such for a few minutes.
Right.
But what that ends up being is that even though you're off work, quote unquote, you're filling up every minute, every waking hour of that time with, like, if not physical activity, social activity. And I never realized until we started doing this. I never realized until we started having our annual events and having all these people come to town and stuff. I used to hear people talk about social batteries. Like, that? Like, people say, oh man, my social... I've always heard that, and I always thought, y'all are gay. Like, just talk to people. I'm not tired talking. I'm tired going to work. I'm not tired talking to other humans. Until I had to entertain guests for 4 days straight, morning and night, and then I realized I need to sit down for a minute. I'm when everybody everybody's heading to the airport, packing up to get on the road, and we're all saying our goodbyes. I go home that day and I just I honest to God, I actually take the next day off of work after the event's over, even though the event's here. I don't even leave my house. Well, I mean, I leave my house, but I don't travel. Everyone comes here for the event, and I actually, I'm this is not a joke. I don't know if people know this. I'm revealing something. I actually take the next work day off after the event weekend, just so that I can have a day where I don't do anything and don't talk to anyone. And I know that I feel like that makes it sound bad. It makes me sound like an asshole. Like I'm so glad everyone's gone. No, I just need some time to just.
I mean, I get like that. I mean, I'd be one of the gay ones that you'd be talking about. Man, my social battery is low. I'm one of them because I don't know. Sometimes I'll be at a. Whenever I have been at a party or whatever, and it's like, okay, it's been a couple hours. I get the gist. I'm ready to go now. But the thing's gonna last for the whole night or whatever. But it's like, all right, well, I'm ready to go. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, I mean, if I'm the guest, if I'm not the host, I'm going to some kind of get together. Yeah, I'll totally do that. I'll go to a get together, hang out, have a good time. But when I'm ready to leave, I just leave. I don't. I just go away.
Yeah. And
people who know me will be like, all right, see you, Alan. When they see my car just going down the street, it doesn't. That's not a negative. That's not a judgment of the party or the company. I'm done. I'm ready to go home. But when I'm the host, obviously, it's like I feel like the least I could do is make myself available to everyone for the whole time there, because they're the ones that came here to support me. So the least I could do is just be like, well, if the early arrivals get here Thursday afternoon and the late leavers leave like Monday morning, then basically from Thursday at 3 p.m. to Monday at 10 a.m., I'm just like, I've made, my schedule is clear. I make myself available to whoever wants to do whatever. And then when that Monday at 10 a.m. gets here, last year I actually went to go see the last people off who were checking out. And I got home and I just hear, ee! I'm shell shocked.
Just hearing white noise the whole time.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear any human.
I don't even remember driving back across town. I mean, I guess I got home safe. There's no dents in the car, but
that's good.
I'm just 1,000-yard stare.
Way to decompress and be a potato.
Yeah, I need it. I really should have had that for this last trip. I mean, I had a great time and I love my friends and stuff, but jumping right back into the work week kind of it's been a long one. Even though it's technically a 4-day work week instead of 5, but it felt like an eternity. So I'm looking forward to this weekend. But I'm still looking forward, the annual event is my favorite time of year. because I'm getting to see everybody in one place on top of getting to see lots of people I don't get to see throughout the year. So it's like our little family reunion. So that's why, you know, for all the things I just said, I still like I'm gleefully making myself available, because even when it starts to get late in the weekend or it's late Sunday night and it's kind of like, well, we need to start thinking about, you know, like some people are going to have to get on the road. They probably don't want to stay up all night. You know, let's start to pack it in. But I tell myself that, well, if anybody wants to do anything, I'm going to be there, because, you know, come this time next week when you're thinking, oh man, I wish we could have done such and such or whatever. You don't want that, you know? Mm-hmm. So, and it happens every year too. Every single year there'll be some little subsection of the crowd will come to the event, and then the event's over. And then I'm like, I don't even think I talked to them. What a shitty host I am. They're probably thinking, man, God, what an asshole. We came all the way here from wherever it is they live. That dude didn't even give us the time of day. What a fucking diva. It's really not. I'm just, you know, it's just, you're overstimulated. It's not like
you got a lot going on during that whole time.
Yeah. And I'm just hoping everybody has a good time and whatever. That's why you tell people, you know, you guys, you got, you know, talks amongst yourselves. Like whenever your teacher told you talks amongst yourself, that was their way of saying, I don't really have any more on the lesson plan, so I'm just going to check out for 15 minutes.
I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah, y'all, you guys talk amongst yourselves. Yeah. So yeah, I do that. But I mean, obviously lots of people are coming to see one another. They're not everybody's traveling halfway across the country because they're just dying to see me. You know, I mean, obviously, but
I don't know. Maybe they are. Oh man, I really want to meet Alan.
I mean, they've come to the right place, because I wasn't coming to them. I obviously wasn't gonna.
Where do you live? Nah.
Oh, we already like we haven't even had the event yet this year, and we've already got people like, so next year's event we should move it to, we should go to Vegas, or we should go to the beach or whatever. And I'm like, well, any of those things that y'all want to do, now that just means we have to raise even more money, because like I'm not going to pay to go there. I know you guys have paid to come here every year. That makes y'all super cool, but I'm not actually going to pay to go anywhere. You'd have to purchase my travel to meet you at my event. Right. Yeah. Yeah. Otherwise, the 8th annual It's Too Late live show is just going to have a TV on the cart that you roll out with it, and you put the tape in the VCR, and it'll play a pre-recorded message from me.
It'll just have if they want to take a picture with you, it'll be a cardboard cutout.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yeah. Exactly.
with that face that you've made, where you're just like,
yeah.
Yeah, that one. yeah. There
you go. I'm so glad you said that. That reminds me. Literally, this is our 7th year doing this, by the way. Crazy. Literally every single year.
I've known you for about 5 of them, I think. 4 or 5 of them, maybe.
So you've missed 5 events.
Yeah. And I'll probably miss this next one, most likely. Yeah. Sorry.
Well, don't start telling people you'll come to the next one, because this is probably going to be the last one. So if you say that, you're saying it. That just makes you extra asshole, because you say, "Oh yeah, I'll be at the next one," even though this one says grand finale. But no, every single year we've had one of these, I always say, "Hey, we'll take a group picture. Like before anybody leaves, we'll get everybody together on stage, and we'll have oh, here's all the attendees at this year's event. We'll take a group picture." We've never done it.
Oh, really?
We've had 6 attempts, and I just don't think it, Yeah. It's just a blur. I don't remember anything that happened. And then I'm like, oh, darn, we didn't get that picture. So now we are 6 years running on, oh, darn, we didn't get that picture. So we better get the picture this year. This might be it.
Especially with that clock there behind you. Well, there is going to be an 8th one.
Here in a couple hours, it's going to say 181. So... Yeah. Whew. I'm already worn out thinking about it. And I'll forget. It doesn't even matter.
Yeah, I was... sorry. While you were going, I was like, man, I don't even know what topic I want to get into. Like, what order am I going to go in? Whatever. Like, I should know this because I'm the host mainly.
This is the time. We're just hanging out. We're
just
that's
talking.
true.
That's true. You know,
This
it's
is
like
just
you were saying though. You know, you got topics, but just get rid of them. We're not even gonna.
Well, I've seen people like do that meme of like making fun of podcast culture, being like, you know, like women will have these podcasts where they're talking about, you know, whatever, you know, makeup or products or yeah, I guess a whole bunch of these girls are the ones doing like the murder mystery stuff on YouTube
Oh
or
yeah,
whatever.
those are popular.
And
Yeah.
it'll be like, and then the dudes podcast is just dudes being like,
Dudes
so I
talking.
bought this black shirt. Hell yeah, man, I love black shirts. Keep going. Yeah, that's the dudes. And I was like, and so they're making fun, but actually I'm thinking that sounds pretty rad.
Talk about whatever. Yeah, what comes to mind. You know.
Yeah,
That's what it was back
boy.
in the Opie and Anthony days. That's all they would do is, well, we don't have anything to talk about, so let's just talk about our personal stuff, and it's gonna make me look like a fucking asshole. But
I love that. It's because the thing is that because see, here's the trick: is nothing we say is true. I'm just playing a character on TV right now.
you're just a dude playing a dude disguised as another dude.
Yeah, I'm Alan Mosley, and I'm playing the character Alan Mosley.
Oh, like
on
Alex
TV.
Jones. He's playing Alex Jones on
Yes.
TV. Yeah, yeah.
Yes. Wait, hold on. Playing it on the what?
On the TV.
You mean the TV?
Yeah, TV.
The TV.
You and Nico are fucking rawing my ass with this TV thing.
I do this with Dave because I'm like, you know, do you guys ever eat at Taco Bell?
Taco Bell.
It's Taco Bell.
Yeah, that's what I said. Taco Bell.
No, it's Taco Bell. It's Taco space Bell.
What is
Taco
like
Bell.
Chinese? Like you didn't enunciate that word right. You're saying.
I mean, it's literally two words. It's on their own side. It's Taco.
Yeah, Taco
Bell.
Bell. Yeah, Taco Bell.
No, see, you said it two different ways in that one sentence.
Oh my god.
This is the content, man. This is what people are clamoring for.
What accent is this? Is this Midwest? Is this somewhere in the East? I don't know.
Well, of course,
Not Southern.
Because they're from Pennsylvania, which Pennsylvania, I mean, it's the North. They're Yankees. They're subhuman to us, but. You know, Pennsylvania is a far cry from like New England, right? Like that's totally different.
Pilgrims.
Yeah, and some people would even make the argument that like rural Pennsylvania, because Pennsylvania is just like a lot of states. There's big chunks of rural area that are like conservative, and you have like the cities, you know, like Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Erie are totally different places than each other, and they're also way different than like the whole rest of the state, you know.
Yeah.
And so it's like, well, those people are basically just Southerners. Like you have like the rednecks who live in rural Pennsylvania that are way different than the people who live like in the cities. Mm-hmm. And so I can't even necessarily like they definitely have accents. I mean, they obviously don't have Southern accents. But their accents are fairly neutral compared to like, because when you think of like Boston, it's just like, Jesus, you know, y'all are just retarded. And then there's like the New Yorkers and the Jersey, you know, those are all very distinct. Like when you hear someone doing the voice, you're like, oh, they're doing a Jersey accent. Oh, they're doing a Boston accent.
The Jersey, yeah.
It's like, well, who does do a Pennsylvania accent, not major city, and you're like,
yeah,
it's just basic English, you know. It's it's not. So I don't think they have a super strong accent. I mean, they sound different than me, but that's because I have a Southern accent because I'm an actual person with an actual culture and heritage, unlike those people. But you guys have moved around, so
yeah,
it's like so. Where's the influence coming from? You know, you've moved around a lot, though, haven't you?
Yep.
How many different states have you lived in?
Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 6.
Wow. Are they all like different parts of the country?
Yeah.
Because like I lived in the South. I was born in Tennessee, and then I went to college in a different part of Tennessee. And then I briefly lived in Florida, which isn't exactly like moving across the country. And then I moved back to Tennessee. So
How long was that? Your Florida?
I was in the Orlando area for a couple of years, which was just gay. Like, Florida's fine. I dig Florida. I can do Florida, not Orlando. That's like saying I went to Georgia. Well, where'd you go? Atlanta. Okay. Let me just let me just stop you right there. We're gonna tour Tennessee. Oh yeah, where are you going? Memphis? Oh, no, okay.
I wouldn't go to Memphis. Fuck that. No.
Yeah. So first of all, who says that? Yeah, right. And second of all, yeah, that's not Tennessee. That's basically all the rest of it's Tennessee. That's
it's like
not.
Tennessee, and then there's Memphis.
Yeah, I mean, really, Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville are very different places. But Knoxville, I mean, but in most of those places, if you drive 5 minutes in one direction, you're back in the country,
Yeah.
It doesn't take you long to get there. But yeah, all of my influence is here, and all of my family and extended family and all that is all. So if anything, I actually have a extremely muted accent compared to most of my family. Most of my family sounds more like this than I do by an enormous margin. I could introduce you to a couple of family members of mine, and you'd be like, "Holy shit!"
It's like, what?
Yeah, like they're the Southern memes that you see on the sitcoms. That's them.
You talk the way you talk because you're talking to Dave too much. That Pennsylvania, whatever.
Well, I've never really had a super strong accent.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like I'm trying not to. It's just like I've been around people who live in particular communities where everyone in that community has a very deep Southern accent, and I don't sound anything like them at all. Even though like all the family I grew up around did, but I don't know. I mean, can you say with absolute certainty, like, oh yeah, I sound exactly like my dad, and my voice hasn't changed at all in 30 years? Do you know that for a certainty, or could you be like, well, I don't know if I sound exactly the same way today that I did, say, 10 years ago, 20 years ago? Maybe it's changed.
It's probably changed a little bit, but I know, when I was younger, like you always are when you're looking back, like that Mitch Hedberg joke. Someone called, and I picked up. And they go, "Oh, hey Chris, how are you?" "Oh no, actually, it's Shane." "Oh, well, you sound just like your dad."
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, well, yeah. Is your mom home? Yes, I'll get her for you.
Yeah. Yeah. See, man, I remember getting to be of a certain age where you're calling a girl's house, and I couldn't decide which was worse, calling a girl's house and, a grown-ass man answering the phone, because that means like, oh shit, we're talking to dad, here we go. Man, the things I'm doing to your daughter. Or is it actually worse if mom answers the phone and you're not 100% sure if it's mom or daughter, and you're like, well, I better choose my words very carefully. You know what? It's always best to just ask if so-and-so is home. It's always best to just say that so that they can then say, it's me, retard, You'd rather get "it's me, retard" than say "you're gonna do what to me later." You don't want that.
Yeah. So what's gonna go down is no, I'm just kidding.
It was funny is everything that we've said in the last few minutes is things that the audiences even a little bit younger and down have no idea. What do you mean calling to see if so-and-so is home and so-and-so answers
Caller
the phone?
ID. What's
Everyone's just got their own.
Yeah.
All the 5-year-olds are walking around with iPhones now, so they're just going to call each other. I got the number, just call them.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, we lived in the Wild West where you just plugged in a number and you just sat here like this, just sweating fucking bullets. And then when some dude answers the phone,
Hello?
you're like, is this a brother? Is this dad? Hi, Mr. So-and-so. Is such and such home? And it's like, and you're like, man, I sound like such a faggot. It's, but I mean,
You don't know.
it is what it is. That was a.
I don't think we're meant to be together.
I mean, that was just that was a what is it? A rite of passage. Is you just had to call the number. So I had a lady friend at one time that she didn't have a dad. She just lived with her mom. It's so ironic. She was black in hindsight.
Oh.
But I'm sorry. I never even thought about that until this moment. But the one girl I ever dated who was from a single
An
parent.
anomaly.
I can't believe it, you
Jeez.
guys.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Oh God, that's not what the point of the story was at all. It just hit me. It just hit me like a ton of bricks in this moment.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, she only had her mom, and so but they sounded a lot alike. So she was like, obviously she only has the single parent. So all of her mannerisms and accent and everything all was coming directly from mom to daughter, right? So if I called the house number and it's just a woman with those mannerisms who says hello, then it's just always better to say, is so-and-so home? But, I can ask mom. I can call mom and be like, is so-and-so home versus if it's dad. Because then you know who you're talking to, but now you have to talk to them, which is the bad part. Oh man, I'm sorry, Cheryl. I'm sorry about your dad. I didn't. Jesus, I didn't mean to. I mean, this was not a setup. I wasn't trying to do this. I'm sorry.
This is good banter.
Yeah, this is good
pre-show
banter.
Yeah.
We're halfway through this thing. Look at this. This is the show. I'm telling you, this is what the masses are yearning for. A couple of dudes staring down the barrel of their midlife crisis, talking about listen, guys. These dudes who are still in their 30s are talking about the way things used to be.
Yeah, I know. Back in my day, we had caller ID, and we still had answering machines.
So now the younger audience still thinks you're a bunch of boomers, but the older audience is get a load of these two fucking losers.
How old are these kids?
Yeah,
35?
but that's how it is though. That never changes. Changes. Anyone who is 5 days older than you is like, psh, this kid doesn't know. And anyone who's younger than you is, wow, did you live at the time of the dinosaurs?
Like when you're trying to talk to someone who's like 10 years younger than you, like 5-10 years younger than you, it feels like you're talking to someone from the 1900s, whatever. I have no idea how to have a conversation.
Dude, I know. I've been talking to them on this, and they're 5 or 10 years younger, and I'm just like,
Oh,
are you from this country?
I know. Yeah.
Like what do I have my geography set to? Which, by the way, check that one out. Holy shit! What the fuck is that? Can we get a zoom in on that? I don't know.
It looks like something from like A Bug's Life or something. I can't even see that from here.
It's some what's the phrase? It's a calorie infused individual who's dressed up like a Twi'lek from Star Wars.
Right.
But all the Twi'leks were all like skinny babes. Someone should have told her that you don't need to be a Twi'lek for whatever it is you're dressed up for. But anyway, this is. So
Hey,
anyway,
you never know. You could match up and you'd fit just great.
so anyway,
Jeez, I didn't even mean.
I ain't even talking about swiping on chicks that are like 10, 15 years younger. I'm talking about swiping on chicks that are like, they're like 33, and I'm like, What did you just say? Hold on, let me Google what you just said real
You gotta
quick.
use Google Translate.
Yeah, let me Google Translate whatever it is. I mean, I guess technically we're both millennials because I'm an older millennial and they would be a younger millennial, but we're still in the same generation.
Mm-hmm.
And I have no idea. I have no idea, dude. It's bad. It's bad out there. It's bad out there, Shane. Don't die of a heart attack.
I'm glad that I'll have to go
Yeah.
through that, at least, God willing, right? I don't have a heart attack, and then, I don't know what she's going to do after that, but...
Yeah. No. Well, she's getting a preview of what she's going to have to do out of that from hearing all my horror stories. She's going to be talking to somebody who's going to say, well, no, she's a woman, so in her case, it would be... like a 52
seconds after people learn about my death. Hey, how are you doing? You okay?
It'd be a 56-year-olds and they would be trying really hard to be hip and only 40 something, but through Nico's eyes, it's just, how are you doing, sweetie? That's gonna be. I actually heard that from Mike's wife. So Mike and Cynthia got together later in life, and they were doing this was in the olden days when there was like Yahoo Personals. This was before the apps, right?
AOL chat room.
Yeah, they actually no, they legit they met on Yahoo Personals. They did.
Oh.
I mean, I know you guys can relate. We're not making fun of Mike and Cynthia. Like
No.
I'm not. I'm just saying that's where, because that existed before there were these apps.
Right.
And they met there, and Cynthia had these horror stories of, how it is. It's like, well, here's a picture, and I'm going to go meet this person. And then you meet them, and you're like, sir, that picture is from 1987. You should probably retire that one and take
Your
a
hair's
more up-to-date
white now.
picture. She actually did. She told a story of meeting some dude right before Mike. And it was some dude who, she went to this place, and she's like in the restaurant looking around and can't find him, and thinking, oh no, did I get stood up? And she hears from behind her, like in the restaurant, Cynthia, is that you? And she turns around, and there's just she knew he was older than her, but just a geezer, just an old ass dude. And she was like, yeah, you're like I understood you were older than me, but we're both adults, but you've clearly aged 15 years from what you're like portraying online as this is who I am,
Mm-hmm.
So I have the issue. I'm sure that's what they think of me. Like, look at this old ass fucking guy. Says he hosts a podcast. Do you have to find someone to log you in? Anyway, I'm talking to these girls who, like, they're in their 30s, for God's sakes. But it occurs to me that the big hang up is two things. I've learned this from other people, because I've discussed this with some folks to figure out, like, what can I be doing differently? How can I connect with all of these people? And here's the two things that I've learned from having talked to a lot of people. One is, even if they're only, like, say, 5 years different, that 5 years different might mean that the cultural influences that they grew up with, like, think like TV, movies, music, and that's where they kind of get their reference points from, and the ones you grew up with might be a little bit different. I mean, different people are already different, plus there's a little bit of a gap. And so when you're, Mike, making an inside joke based on something and they totally don't get it, and vice versa, it may be because you totally don't get it because you've never seen or heard of it, and vice versa. And then the second thing I learned is that our generation is already the generation that, like, when we were kids, like, these didn't exist. Like, there weren't smartphones. I didn't even have a cell phone until I went to college. So, I mean, I would have been like 19 when I got it. And my first cell phone was like a Nokia brick that you could, like, throw through a car window.
You had to literally hit the button like 3 times to get to like a T.
Yeah. My second phone was a Razor flip phone after that, and then I didn't get I didn't get a iPhone until after that. So I was already like 23, 24, something like that, when I got a smartphone. But the point being is that we're the last generation that can remember pre-cell phone everywhere. Like, cell phones existed in the 80s, but nobody had cell phones. And that, you know, everyone's not on the internet 24/7 because it's like you had to click the buttons and it has to dial, and then it's really loud and then it's really slow and, you know, whatever. And then there's like, it was like a really big deal for me. Like, one of our friends in high school has a cell phone so that they can call somebody. That's like, oh wow, we have a lifeline to the world because somebody in our friend group has a cell phone. But anyone who's like 10 years younger than us grew up in a world with 24/7 high-speed internet, with smartphones, with iPads, all that stuff. Like, we had them, but those came in as we were hitting adulthood. For them, they had them when they were children. And that is a big... Mike Meharry said there's like actually a term for it, and I've forgotten what it is now, but there's a term for the gap within generations where, so like this part of millennial and up remember the world of landlines and dial-up, and, you know, not everyone has cable TV, and streaming didn't even exist. And then this side of the gap and down, that was a part of their lives when they were adolescents. Yeah. And so those two people, even though they may only be like so many years apart, those are vastly different groups of people. So I'm talking to those people, trying to get them, you know, to come live in my closet. And they're like, you know, what's your deal, old man? And I'm like, old man? And I'm like, and I'm saying that to the ones, they're only like 5 or 6 years different than me. And I'm like, well, what the fuck are you? You're the one whose ovaries are drying up. What are you talking to me for? Anyway, long story short, it's bad out there. I just showed you the 400-pound Twi'lek. That should be all the information you needed to know to know that it's bad out there.
Well, speaking of it's bad out there. Hell yeah.
No, dude, we only got to do 20 more minutes and we're out of here.
20 minutes?
Like, yeah, this show ends at 10 o'clock. It's an hour show. Isn't that what it says on the TV guide? TV guide.
Yes, there's another one.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I wanted to share some things with you. You know, we got the good old banter out of the way.
The good old banner out of the way. 41 minutes.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah.
No,
it was so engaging, you know.
We haven't even done football yet. Draft's coming up, you know.
I'm not gonna get started on that. Nope, not doing it.
Oh man, I'm telling you, this is the ticket. People just want to hear Shane and Alan talk about navigating the adult world, because that's what people need. I'm telling you.
Yeah, we could do that for the first, 38 minutes of the show, and then the remaining 20 to 30 minutes we'll actually we'll just speed through all this other stuff, all the things that are going on, because this is part of navigating the adult world, I guess, is just paying your taxes and living life, and hopefully not having a heart attack during the middle of a stream.
Jay Forte says he met his wife in World of Warcraft.
I know, I saw that. Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
And apparently his wife is a halfie like me. So
a halfie.
There you go.
I thought y'all had a word for that. I thought it's like literally in your name.
Yeah.
Over there.
Yeah. Although maybe
halfie.
Maybe I don't know what races of half your wife is, Jay Forte, but
I think it's Korean.
Korean.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah, if I remember correctly.
Or is halfie like nigga? Like that's y'all's word. Like,
yeah, that's yeah.
I can't just be going around calling people halfies. Yeah,
that's the H word to you, sir.
Yeah, I need a halfie pass so that I can say that.
Well,
I'll remember that.
Yeah, so there you go. If you want to call, if you're mad at me for some reason, you know what, Happy? How about no? How about you shut the fuck up and just
Yeah.
don't talk to me again?
This is where I'm at, dude. When I was in Tarpon Springs, we went to Publix, which I mean, there's Publixes in Tennessee. There's just not one in Columbia. I'm pretty PO'd about it. But there was a girl. The Publix girl is now the Ponchos girl. The Publix girl.
You gotta go down. Gotta go move to Florida.
I tell you. Well, I mean, I got to get out of the fucking black hole that is where I live now for women. But
We
the
got our phone
Publix
number.
girl.
Oh man, you're so beautiful. Can I have your phone number? Hell no, creeper.
Well, hold on. We'll get to that.
Oh, okay.
Well, so first of all, I asked Mike, hey, can we take her home with us? And they said no. And so I was like, well, then shit, why did it even come on vacation? No, man, the Publix girl, so fine. I like the ones with the dark hair and dark eyes. She may have been some kind of a Greek. It's a Greek community down there. Yeah. Tarpon Springs is a Greek. So she may have been. I don't know. I'm not good at identifying things. All I can say is that I am of an age where my first question is were you born before or after the year 2000?
That'd be a good pickup line for you to tell. Hey, what year were you born? Before 2000 or after?
Yeah. If you were, because the Dalton line, we had a long conversation about the Dalton line when I was down there. The Dalton line being where it is, it's like we're in the year 2025. And so it's like, well, if you were born before the year 2000, then I don't really need any more information. Like, whatever, it's fine. But if you were born after the year 2000, then it's like, you know, it's like you run along to school then, you know.
Yeah, right.
So that's and so instead of saying, hey honey, how old are you? I can just say, hey, were you born? Do you remember 9/11?
Like,
and if they say, yeah, I remember seeing that on TV, and you're like, yes.
Or they start laughing.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I found her. This is the one. So the public girl was fine. The only problem is that I don't know if she remembers 9/11. So that's a problem.
Oh.
Yeah.
She was like 1.
Yeah. It's like if you don't remember 9/11 because you were 1, I remember 9/11 because I was in high school. So we got a problem.
You could be like 9/11, and then you remember what happened 9/11? You remember? And you start laughing. You're like, yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I guess in her case, she'd be like, no, what happened? Can you tell me?
Tell you, I can show you.
So these Saudi Arabian terrorists, who were paid by Israel.
Oh my God! Here we go. Hey, if she's on board, then
She'd be like, it wasn't as bad as well. Actually, no, scratch that. Yeah, 9/11, but October 7th. Then you'd be like, oh well, I'm gonna go over there now. October 7th.
Well, you say that, but I did match with a girl recently whose name was Sydney.
Oh shit.
And you know, well, it was her age was better. She was in her early 30s, and she seemed, intelligent.
Definitely before 2000.
Yeah, before the year 2000. Yeah. I mean, in the same decade as me, so
there you go.
It's all right. No, the problem with her was, well, there was a couple of problems. The first problem is that is very. What's the phrase that the kids say these days? Mid. She's very mid.
No.
It was like, she's got 1 or 2 pictures where she's kind of cute, and then 1 or 2 pictures where you're like, yeah, but that's what she
like the
actually
lighting
looks
is off. The lighting.
Yeah,
is off.
like that's what she actually looks like versus this is what. But anyway, no, the problem for her was at the very end of the bio. She is a proud Zionist.
Oh shit.
Yeah, like as in
that'll be some fun dinner talk.
no, as in her family is from Israel level of Zionist, not just like a Christian Zionist.
By the way, I'm the host of It's Too Late with Alan Mosley. You should check it out.
I did that. I actually
Hell yeah.
because I matched with her. Because I know a lot of people will bitch about like, well, what's the point of matching with someone if you don't talk? Everyone puts that in their bio. What's the point of matching if you're not going to talk? And I saw that, and I'm like, well, you know, time to unmatch on this one because it ain't gonna happen. And she had messaged me, and she messaged me right before I was getting ready to nope out, and was like, I think that the men should message first. And I was like, well, I'm at Alan Mosley TV on X. Knock yourself out. Because I was like, you could pretty much just take any random snapshot and be like, oh, he wants my people to experience a dirty nuke.
Well, yeah, I think that'll do it.
Yeah. Except for, So, no, that's over. And then the other ones are just too young, man. Mm-hmm. The one that was well above the Dalton line was still too young, which may make you wonder. Well, if they're still too immature above the Dalton line, maybe you should raise the Dalton line. And the answer is shut your mouth. There's a lot that goes into deciding these things. Yeah. All right. So the Dalton line is 25. If they're above the Dalton line, then it's at least possible. Mm-hmm. If they're below the Dalton line, they're too young. It doesn't matter. Yeah. If they're on the Dalton line, then of course we reach our third question, which is, how hot is she?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, but I'm also not a good, I can't tell these things.
Yeah.
We could see somebody walking down the street and you could be like, hey, Alan, how old do you think she is? I have no idea.
Oh, man. Well, good luck to you, sir. Good luck.
Man.
It's going to happen at some point.
Well, I mean.
Yeah. I know. And get that clock running down.
Yeah, and I got a lot to do this summer.
Yeah.
I got a lot of work to do this summer.
Hey,
so, I mean,
like you're saying before, just learn Korean and talk to that one Korean girl in Squid Game. There you go. You're on your way.
That one. Just that one.
Just that one.
I'm gonna go over there looking for that one. I'm gonna have pictures. Excuse me, have you seen this woman? Yeah, she's up there. And then I'm gonna be arrested.
There. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go up there. I'm gonna figure it out.
And then I'm going to be arrested. Did you ever see the video? There was some woman, some retarded woman, had posted a video that was making the rounds on social media of she wanted to meet a hot Korean guy.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? So she went to Korea.
Yeah.
And then, and then it was
around. It's like, man, all the guys I'm seeing are freaking ugly. It's like, obviously, I'm sure someone comes to America. I want someone who looks just like Brad Pitt, and then I come down here and buddy, this freaking ugly.
Yeah, it never occurred to this woman until she got there that celebrities don't look the same,
right,
as everyone else. She thought that every dude walking around Korea.
There's a lot of work done on this thing right here. A lot of work.
Yeah,
and I'm not talking about my face.
Yeah, no. Shane's just like that.
Yeah,
you guys.
Yeah,
that's wild.
I know.
Yeah, but he's spoken for. So.
For some reason I was thinking of another video that I don't know if you've seen, but I've seen, and it's this naked woman just throwing bottles of water in the DFW
airport.
Yeah. Dallas Fort Worth.
Yeah, she's probably on here. If you just give me a minute, I can probably find her. Yeah,
probably. Yeah,
dude, like hose with no toes. Bitches be tripping.
Freaking banging on the screen. Hey, I needed that to know when my flight was going to be departing. You dumb bitch.
The very first profile that popped up
was that woman. Wow.
No. Yeah, I kind of wish it was. No, the very first one that popped up. The first two words
Zionist.
are wicked liberal and then gay pride flag.
That's perfect for you. Perfect. Hey,
We had this conversation this past weekend too. There is a classification of woman, and like if I'm mentioning it, it's because it's worth mentioning. There's a lot.
Yeah.
There are a lot of women on dating apps that are hardcore progressive leftists, and they all say that they're looking for their Rip Wheeler, you know, the dude from like Yellowstone or whatever.
Yeah.
So they're all looking for their big burly cowboy, but they're hardcore leftists. And their description of what they want in a man is a traditional conservative blue collar guy. And then at the bottom of their profile is, you know, swipe the way you voted, no Republicans, no conservatives. And you're like, the man you think you want would slap your face because of your political and cultural beliefs.
I mean, they wanted a traditional man, you know, so, you know, slapping.
They want a tradition. They want Rip Wheeler, who voted for Kamala Harris. You know what? First of all, that doesn't exist. And second of all, you've come to the wrong place. Like, you guys moved to Tennessee looking for Bernie Sanders, but he needs to look like, you know, that actor or whatever.
Oh man, what a segue!
Like what are y'all talking about? Like. Yeah, it's wild. It's wild how prevalent that is. That's the thing. It's wild how prevalent that is. So anyway, the wicked liberal here, and of course every single one of them are atheists. Every single one of them, you know, they all have their vax status.
They want a traditional conservative man, but I'm an atheist. Yeah, good luck finding that. A traditional conservative man.
Well, they want a man who looks like that and acts like that. But you need to actually be a pretty hardcore liberal.
I want you to look super jacked, but also be very retarded. Which, you know, there you go.
Well, they live in this world where they think that they can be like a third wave feminist who's going to wear the pants in the family and is going to have a full-time career and all that, and then they're going to be able to come home to that guy who's just going to be okay with it, like, you know, who's going to be out there with you wearing the pussy hat in the women's march, you know, fighting for equal pay for equal work. It's like, no, the dudes you're describing are the ones out there like throwing rotten meat at y'all as y'all walk down the street. Like, that's that guy.
Yep.
It's so funny, man. It's so, like, dude. And I'm not, you know, even though I have pretty strong political and cultural opinions, like, I don't have my own profile just blanketed wall to wall with that. It's more of a, well, let's get past you not being 400 pounds and, you know, having been run through about 3,000 times, and then we'll see about some of those things. Oh, there's a lot of that. Dude, at the age that I'm at, if I'm swiping on women that are close to my age, it's, well, you know, I followed around the 49ers for like a decade, getting passed around the locker room, but it's time to settle down and start a family. And you're like, oh, start a family. Oh, is that right, Mrs. 39-year-old? Yeah. With huge bags under her eyes and neck tattoos. And dude.
Oh, my gosh.
It's, yeah, dude.
Sounds like a fun time.
I'm sure it was 13 years ago, but yeah. I've been able to run this thing to 957. I'm so pumped. Hell yeah. You're just, and you thought this was your show. Nah, man.
What's the title of the show again? Oh, yeah, that.
What is the title of the show?
It's called
Glenn Jacobs challenges TIm Walz to a wrestling match for charity.
Yeah.
He did do that, but that's obviously not going to happen.
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
So, I mean, TIm Walz is old, which, by the way, Glenn Jacobs is also old. They're both going to throw their backs out, but
Well, yeah, I
Tim Walz
saw
is like,
a video of Glenn talking about this. Yeah, I haven't even been in the ring since like what 2021. So it's
I'm
like,
surprised it's even that recent.
yeah,
He's
Royal
up there.
Rumble. Yeah.
And those big dudes usually have like terrible back problems and everything else. But I mean, Tim Walz is just old. So
Well, I mean, the reason why he did that is because Tim Walz said that he could. Now, I'm not sure if he's talking about Trump supporters as a whole or if he was talking about Fox News. But he said on Gavin Newsom's podcast that I could probably kick most of their asses, you know? And it's just like, because I guess now we're into it here in the last 5 minutes or so, but like, you know, Tim Walz is talking to Gavin Newsom because Gavin Newsom's talking about, well, you know, I don't think you should just completely dismiss these people like Charlie Kirk and Steve Bannon. You shouldn't just dismiss what they're saying. And Tim Walz is like, well, why can't you? Why can't you just push them under a rock? What can we do to get them to like go under a rock so we don't have to worry about them ever again? It's like, yeah, that's a good way to. It's weird because we know because we've talked about before, Gavin Newsom, like the reason why he's doing this, it's plainly obvious. He's trying to like seem more like center or moderate or whatever. Now Tim Walz, on the other hand, he's like, no, we didn't go LGBTQ plus enough.
So I just want to point out, I literally Googled Tim Walz age. The first two things that popped up were, first of all, he'll be 61 next week.
He's a young man. Wow, compared to Trump and Biden, damn, he's young.
So first of all, 61-year-olds, in fact, can't beat up most people. That's number
He
one.
said that he could kick their asses.
Yeah. And number two, hand to God, one of the first articles that popped up was from August 29th of 2024. And the title is, "No, Walz isn't old. He's 60, which is the new 40."
Okay. Wow, they were really hamming them up, huh? Man, Tim Walz is like the dad I never had. He's a football coach.
It's like I've already
man.
forgotten that part in our nation's history, all the way
Isn't
back.
that crazy?
To
It's March 28th, 2025 right now, and that was what, last August?
so it's like 7-8 months ago. I've already blocked it out.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. But see, those
Yeah.
girls that you're talking about, they'd be like, "Oh hell yeah, 60 is a new 40." Look at that. Yeah, I bet they'd probably be one of those people like Tim Walz. He is a nice young sport. Did you see him playing video games with AOC? Look at that.
No,
What a nice
no,
guy.
no, 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 no. The girls I'm talking to wouldn't think that because I don't really talk to the ones that are around my age. I talk to the ones that are a little bit
Younger.
younger. Yeah. When I was younger, I would not have talked to a woman who was not too much younger than me because I don't know, it's just weird. I'd just rather be with someone my age. As I've gotten older, I'm becoming that meme of like, yes, I'm the old millennial stealing all the Zoomer girlfriends. That's me now. I've become the thing that I hated, and I'm okay with it. No, I'm the one. I'm the Tim Walz.
Oh no.
I'm Tim Walz.
No.
Yeah,
Get those big bushy eyebrows. Perfect. There you go.
he does have kind of big bushy eyebrows. It's like, how do you have such big eyebrows, but all of this hair's gone? God, I'm so happy I have hair, man. Like, could you imagine getting the like early male pattern baldness gene? Ugh. If I was balding, I would have subtracted like 1,000 days off of that clock.
So he probably would have been dead already.
Yeah, I'd been dead a few years
Yeah,
ago.
yeah.
Yeah, I'd have been out of here. Ugh, thank goodness.
Oh boy.
My brother's started to like he's starting to really show it. I'm like, suck it.
Man, that sucks.
Yep, not me.
That sucks.
My hair did start going gray though at a relatively youngish age. When I was in my mid-20s, I was already starting to get gray hair.
So I'm gonna derail this whole entire conversation that we're having right now, and
Oh, are
ask
you? Okay.
you because we're getting up there in time. I'm gonna ask you. Just let's call this the lightning round. Let's call this the lightning
Okay.
round. Donald Trump endorsed Lindsey Graham. Your thoughts?
Trump
Who would have thought?
Trump 2.0 is officially over, I think, at this point.
Yeah.
I think that there was that initial like first few weeks where it seemed like every few days it was another like, oh my God, I can't believe it, whatever it is
picture.
going on. Wow. And I mean, and he's been getting roasted for it. Like there's a lot of people there's a lot of people who are like, yeah, this is it. Like, when he was in the business of keeping campaign promises there for like that first month, but now that initial surge is over, all of those executive orders, that's like over and done with, and we've moved on to now it's time to just get into the game of just governing and playing politics. It's just been one massive L after another after another. So when we were on here talking about him attacking Massey, like that was a monumental L.
That was like the first kind of step.
Yeah, that was he lost a ton of support because it was like, look, man, if it's you or him, it's like, look, dude, you're a lame duck, so we'll just back Massey.
Right.
And then right after that, it was, well, let's bomb Yemen because Netanyahu wants me to. And it's like, boy, very America first. You're being here. You're clearly a lapdog for Israel. That was always a huge red flag with him. And it's not even just a red flag. It's like it's so painfully terrible how in the tank he is for Israel.
Yeah, the
but
most
now
transparent president of all time. We know exactly where he's.
So he himself and a bunch of other like Republican leadership were like, Yemen, that's Biden's war. Biden is so stupid for Yemen. And so, of course, obviously they just want to go, pour more funding into a different war. But that was something that was put around Biden's neck. It was Biden was involved in bombing Yemen. That was retarded. The only thing that managed to get the Houthis to stop their bombings was a ceasefire in Gaza. And now Israel, Netanyahu / Trump have ruined that, which meant the Houthis go back to their bombing campaigns. And like Yemen's been bombed like nonstop for like 12 years or something, and they're still there. So dude, it's totally over it. So anyway, the point being is Trump himself, like a few years ago, was like, Biden's an idiot. He's bombing Yemen. What does this have to do with us? MAGA. And now a few years later, here we are. So that was a massive L. And then this week, endorsing Lindsey Graham.
Look what he says here. He says that he's always been there for him when he needed him.
Uh-huh.
And
he has he?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go ahead. Oh, do you have it? Do you have the tweet?
I don't have it in front of me, no.
Yeah.
But I just like how he says, as the chair of the Senate Budget Committee, Lindsey is fighting tirelessly to grow the economy. Lower taxes. Now, don't laugh at this next part. Eliminate government waste. Okay? Lindsey is also relentlessly focused on helping us secure the border, stop migrant crime, strongly support our great military / vets, promote American energy dominance in all caps, defend our always under siege Second Amendment, and, again, do not laugh at this next part, ensure peace through strength. And then he says later, he will not let you down, which I'm sure a lot of South Carolinians are like, no, fuck Lindsey Graham. What?
Well, I think we talked about this before, that making a mistake is bad, but making a mistake on that's something diametrically opposed to your own shtick, that's extra bad. So if you run a whole campaign of draining the swamp, and then you endorse Lindsey Graham. Like, this is one of, like, if you and I had to sit down right now and make like our top 10 list of career politicians who most represent when you think of the swamp in DC, Lindsey Graham is not only on that list, he's like top 5. He's top 3. Like, he's right there. So for him to endorse Lindsey Graham is such a monumental L, such a slap in the face of everybody. So all the America Firsters, all the drain the swampers, this pisses on them. It spits in their face. And like I said, there's been a lot of people on social media who are like, I voted for Trump 3 times. You know, here's my hat. I've got MAGA in my profile. I will not be supporting Lindsey Graham. I'll we'll be supporting whoever it is other than him. I don't care. And I'm like, well, good on them. Good on them to not just back Lindsey Graham just because Trump said so. And it's like we have to find bottom, right? Like, we have to find bottom before we can start digging our way out. And bottom may be endorsing Lindsey Graham. It might be. Even with Massey, even though Massey's going to be fine, by the way, and he'll be around long after Trump is gone. Even with that, there's people who are like, yeah, we should primary Massey because Trump said so.
Right.
But, man, there's a lot of people saying Lindsey Graham's a no for me, dog.
I mean, yeah, even some of the same people, at least one comes to mind. I haven't seen anything, so and if anyone has seen it, correct me if I'm wrong. But there was one person in particular who was like, "Oh, and yeah, I hate Massey. Screw that guy. I'm gonna help him get him primary out of that damn state. Screw him. He doesn't know America first." And then with the Lindsey Graham endorsement, nothing to say. Oh yeah, I support this. Yeah, Donald Trump's right. That's right. Lindsey Graham. Mm-hmm. Nothing. Because they know that's a stupid move.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
They're not that retarded. Like, yeah, they're retarded to go after Massey, but they're not that retarded to go, yeah, I totally support Lindsey Graham because Donald Trump told me to. So,
well, there's a certain argument to be made that, like, because they're just playing politics. That's all of it is just theater. And it's like, it's if you wanted to stay on Trump's good side, then you'd be like, yeah, that's right, Mr. President. Hey, shut up, Massey. You suck. It's easy for you to take that position, so because you think A, you're on Trump's good side, but also B, you know that you're not actually hurting Massey because he's going to be fine. He's not gonna lose a primary
the last 2 or 3 primaries he's gone on. He's won like 65% of the vote.
Oh, and much higher than that, but yeah,
at least 65%.
You want to know what one of the most damning statistics is? You want to talk about like votes. So Trump ran for president, Massey ran for Congress. So these are totally different races. So total number of votes is irrelevant.
Yeah.
But and even percentage doesn't matter. You know, Massey winning by a certain percentage in a deep red district in Kentucky isn't even the same as a president winning a state. I'm talking about actual total voters in the district. Did you know that in Massey's district, which is Kentucky 4, more people voted for Thomas Massey than for Donald Trump?
That's why he's mad.
That's why he's mad. That's actually a pretty eyebrow raising number to think about, because
more votes than me.
Because you know that there's a lot of people that basically they only vote once every 4 years, right? Like, you know, there's a lot of people, they vote for president, they don't vote elsewise. The fact that Massey got more votes from his district for him for Congress than Trump got for president, yeah, dude, Massey's perfectly fine. So anyway, the point being is that, you know, like, even taking like a Lindsey Graham, it's so easy for Lindsey Graham to be like, you know, you said it, boss, boo, Massey.
Yeah,
just for this shit, just so that he can get an endorsement, when it's no skin off of Massey's back. You know, it would be different if Massey was in a district that was like 51-49 Republican Democrat, and it's like, oh my God, this is a super close race.
Nope.
It would be different then for those people to really be going to bat against him when, you know, every vote counts. But they're not going to do that in this case because He's going to win no matter what. But again, Lindsey Graham, for like in my lifetime, like who are the biggest, who are the arch villains, who are the super villains of my lifetime? And I'm not going to name presidents because we're not talking presidents, just like members of Congress. Yeah. John McCain, Lindsey Graham. Like, they're like right there. I mean, obviously, you know, Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, Mitch McConnell. I mean, like that's the short list, the shortest of the short list. There's definitely more, like Tom Cotton, One Eye, what's his name?
Oh, Dan Crenshaw, yeah.
Dan Crenshaw. But even some of them are younger. Like I'm thinking, like when I was old enough to vote, like I turned 18 in 2004. So like you're thinking, you know, a few years after 9/11, this is the George W. Bush days. So like from the W. Bush era onward is like my political adulthood. John McCain, Lindsey Graham, Mitch McConnell, Nancy Pelosi, like these are the worst of the worst of the worst. And so first of all, A, this fucker's still alive and running for Congress, and B, Trump's endorsing him. So Trump is not He's not that guy. Trump is not America first. He's not draining the swamp. That is absolutely unequivocally false at this point. You can't make the argument. There's nothing you can throw at me about Doge or federal departments or, you know, or deportations or whatever. There's absolutely no figure you can cite for me that even holds a candle to he's endorsing people like fucking Lindsey Graham. Sorry, no, he ain't it.
So, what did you think of Representative Jasmine Crockett calling Texas Governor Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels? And a lot of the Con Inc. and conservatives were like, I can't believe he would. It's like, what are you talking about? It's funny. And then he leaned into it and actually got the joke and laughed about it. So, there you go.
I mean, it's kind of funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny, number one. And yeah, I mean, Abbott didn't make a big deal about it. So, but that's what Con Inc. does. It's just rage posting.
Yeah.
Whether you're, what's the dude whose face is too small for his head?
Charlie Kirk.
Yeah, Charlie Kirk. Like whether you're Charlie Kirk or whether you're a random YouTuber. It's just rage posting. That's all it is.
You're a bad thing, but I knew exactly who you were talking about.
I know. I know. I already hit you with eye patch McCain, and then the dude whose face is too small. This is it. We're turning the show back into a game show now.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like Scott Pressler. You know Scott Pressler.
Yeah, the long-haired gay Republican. Yeah.
Right. Which so this is his tweet. I don't have it. I don't have it in front of me. I was reading here. Get that shit off there. So he said, I don't use this word often, but Jasmine Crockett truly is wicked. To call Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels is cruel, contemptible, and speaks to your lack of character. Excuse me? I mean, I don't want to do the whole whataboutism thing or whatever, but I'm going to do that. Yeah. So I'll be that guy. But I mean, Donald Trump calls people names all the time.
Well, okay, I don't use this word very often, but you know, Jasmine Crockett is truly wicked. I don't know. I think bombing civilians in Gaza is truly wicked. It's just, you know.
Someone said that she should be the Democrat nominee for 2028. Hell yeah. I would love to see that. I'm not even joking. That would be great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'd be cool with that. Well, it's like like everything we say and do always goes back to Norm Macdonald. So it's like, man, the worst thing about it is she called, Greg Abbott Hot Wheels. Like I really thought the worst part was they're still hiding the Epstein list. I thought that was the worst part. Like they're still protecting rapists and pedophiles. But we're over that. We've moved on to black Texan called paraplegic Hot Wheels, and therefore that's bad. It's like I can think of some worse things that happened this week. I really can. The bombing of Yemen is worse than that, but for them that's a non-story. Whereas Hot Wheels is a big deal.
I'm gonna get that up here.
Unlike Greg Abbott, am I right?
Bro, yeah. Okay. I mean, all right. So he continues. A tree fell on Abbott when he was 26 years old, paralyzing him from the waist down. His loving wife stayed by his side, and they have a lovely adopted daughter. Well, that's nice. If Jasmine Crockett represents the Democrat Party, I want nothing to do with Democrats. Despicable.
I don't think, but I don't think he wanted anything to do with Democrats to begin with.
Should I click on the hidden reply? I do you, whenever you see a tweet that has a hidden reply, I instantly go to that because I'm like, what the fuck did they hide? All right, let's see what they said. After this photo, you got fired from the VA GOP for having sex with a dude in their office. Jeez.
Holy shit!
God damn.
I can see why he hid it. You do need to go back in the closet.
My God, come on. But yeah, like I was saying, I don't want to. Well, no, I am going to be that guy. But okay, so you're saying I want nothing to do with the Democrat Party because she called Greg Abbott Governor Hot Wheels. But then Donald Trump, he'll say this about so and so. He'll be like, Rand Paul doesn't look, he's got plenty of subject matter there. Hilarious. Whoa, I was laughing my ass off when I heard that. Funny. Ted Cruz, come on. All those things you're talking about, Ted Cruz, shit. All the stuff you talk about with the media, hilarious. But no, Governor Hot Wheels, that's a line too far.
I mean, like all Governor Abbott had to do in response to that was just to be like, of course I'm Hot Wheels because I'm leading the way. Because, he's a governor and that was Hot Wheels' slogan. I was actually trying to find if like Abbott has, what was his actual response? Who cares? I don't know. It ain't worth the time to look up. What were we talking about? I don't know. It got derailed again because Pressler is mentally retarded.
Here, I found it. So, King Pilled, he had it here. It says, good to see the man showing a little spine.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good dad joke. Greg Abbott. So actually, Antonio Brown called him Cracker of the Day. He said Professor X, a.k.a. Greg Abbott.
Yeah.
And then Greg Abbott said, got to add this to my resume. Need the outfit. They see me rolling.
So he didn't say that. So his intern said that.
Right.
So I wonder what he actually said.
He probably was like, whatever. It's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. But
it's
still,
fine.
Yeah.
Well, of course, the $1 million question, though, it will always be like, okay, so she did this thing. You think she'll get reelected?
Probably.
Because exactly. So way more often than not, whenever all of these little miniature 24-hour scandals happen, it's always, well, we're gonna vote them out, and then they get reelected. First of all, no one remembers it like 2 days later, and then second of all, they just get reelected. So when she inevitably just gets reelected, then like, okay, well, I guess that wasn't a big deal then, huh?
Yeah. So I have a couple of more things here.
I thought that was the end of the lightning round.
No,
Not that.
there's more lightning round. I'm sorry, sir. I'm very sorry. But there's more lightning round.
All right. Well, the song's like 5.5 minutes long, so
we actually talked about this a little bit before we started going live here. But you had said that Ben Shapiro. We're not gonna read the whole fucking thing. So don't worry about that. Ben Shapiro's like, why does it even matter who shot JFK? Well, another thing also was happening where Ben Shapiro was talking about pardoning Derek Chauvin. I don't know if you remember that Ben Shapiro was.
I do remember that. Yeah, there's a new push now. Yeah, to pardon Derek Chauvin. Yep.
So I'm gonna share this video with you, and it's from your boy. It's from your main man.
No.
Stephen A. Smith. Let's go.
No.
Yes.
Oh,
But look,
God,
he asked him a good question, though. He asks him a good question, so you have to give him a little bit of credit, okay? Here we go.
Former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin. For those that don't know, Chauvin was sentenced to 22 years in prison after being convicted of unintentional second-degree murder, third-degree murder, and second-degree manslaughter of George Floyd. I wondered if you would feel that way if the officer was black and the victim was Jewish. That was what I said, and your response was to call me a race baiter. Why is that, Ben Shapiro?
Well, to me, the entire case against Derek Chauvin was rooted in a sort of public racial essentialism that I thought was unnecessary to analyze the case. If I'm going to look at this case and just look at the facts of the case, the race of the person on the ground and the race of the officer are irrelevant, and we should treat it exactly the same, whether both people were black, both people are white, one person was Jewish, one person was not Jewish. The identity of the person on the ground, I think, should not be the deciding factor in whether or not Derek Chauvin was convicted of second-degree murder. It should be the situation, the facts of the case, the autopsy report, and all of the rest. And so the thing that I actually objected to was the suggestion that my opinion would have changed rooted in the, say, racial or religious identity of the person who died as opposed to the racial or religious identity of the person who was the police officer. I just don't think that that's how we ought to decide criminal justice cases in general.
So, yeah, I mean...
But whenever, like, an Israeli spy gets arrested, they want them released and sent back to Israel immediately. Would he feel the same way about a Chinese spy that gets arrested?
Well, they made that joke about Eric Swalwell, you know, fucking that Chinese spy or whatever. Allegedly.
Yeah. Allegedly,
yeah.
I mean, no one can listen to that fucking leprechaun right there.
I know. I'm sorry to have to make you endure both Stephen A. Smith and Ben Shapiro on the same screen together. I mean,
back to back. Yeah, that's too much for me to handle.
I mean, speaking of too much to handle. So okay. So yeah, but I mean, like you were saying, Ben Shapiro, because Stephen A. Smith's like, well, then your response to me, but when I asked that question was to call me a race baiter. So I don't. Whatever.
I mean, I'm torn because on the one hand, pardoning Chauvin would trigger so many people. Right. And it would be hilarious. Yeah. On the other hand,
like Stephen A. Smith,
all cops are bastards. So it's like, damn, it's hard to choose.
Stephen A. Smith had like a whole week's worth of shows on why this whole thing was a terrible thing. Which would be
I thought he should have a week's worth of shows about sports, but apparently I'm wrong.
This is his like outside of ESPN show where he can talk about whatever, sports included.
I mean, hell, they talk about whatever on ESPN at this point.
Well, that's true. Yeah, yeah, you're right. That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Alan, are you ready for the last thing in the lightning round? Are you ready?
Yeah. I am ready. I am.
All right. So I know we've been doing this now for the past few episodes.
No, dude. We're over time by 26 minutes already. It's a 1-hour show. What happened?
I got to get through this.
You're acting like somehow we ran out of time for some weird reason. I can't believe it. Where did our 40 other minutes go? I don't remember.
We're splitting the shows.
All right.
We're splitting the shows in half.
All right.
Part one and part two.
All right, come on. Let's do it. Let's hear it. I've already forgotten his name again. Literally since I asked you what his name was, I've already forgotten it again.
Right.
Oh, was that actual video?
Big topics are Jeff Heist.
Yeah, the actual video. So for some reason, like I had it timed, and then it went back to not the time that I wanted to go. So that's probably a good sign. All right. So anyway, we've been doing this for the last few episodes where we listen to Tom Myers' monologue because it's a political type of show. We make fun of stuff that's going on usually, So anyway, here's Tom Myers' latest monologue from March 27th, 2025. We'll go one by one.
Hello, and welcome to Tom Myers versus the rest of the world. A lot's been going on this week. It was revealed that Donald Trump's cabinet members accidentally included a reporter on a group text about the planning for their attack on Yemen. I was outraged by this, not because of the security concerns, but because the only group chats in which I'm accidentally included have links to malware designed as camgirl sites. And I'm tired of having to replace my phone.
So
Those laughs
yeah.
are so cringe fake. Like, oh my god.
Okay, so what I want you to do is after I say every joke, can you please just laugh as loud as you can? I got it, sir. Gotcha, boss.
It started and ended terribly. The ending of the fake laughter is just so cringe.
Yeah.
And then the start of, like, I've already heard enough of these to know that this guy is painfully unfunny, and his shtick is just wall to wall. Trump did this. Trump said this. And what happens? The very first second of the monologue is he said a lot of stuff in the news this week, comma, Donald Trump.
Right.
It's so bad.
Yeah.
Like, literally nothing else. We're straight to it.
There was an episode before this, but since we're pushing it here on the time, I was thinking about, hey, maybe we can have Alan listen to both, but I was like, no, I'm not gonna. I don't want to destroy him that much. But you know what's funny? The one issue he did not talk about in this episode and the last episode was the whole thing with Thomas Massey. You want to know why? This is just my guess, and I'm probably right, is because he's a Republican. I can't say anything good about a Republican, even though it's against Donald Trump. How am I going to make a joke about that? Thomas Massey is a Republican. I don't know what to say. I don't know. He has nothing. So.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, he's clearly an uneducated shitlib, because it's just objectively true that Thomas Massey is the best congressman in the House. That's not. Yeah. It's just not debatable. It's just objective fact. If you know anything about anything, you understand objectively that he's the best congressman. So if you have to just completely steer clear of the topic because it would force you to reckon with Massey, then you're just so pitiful. Like, even because it's just like the old Ron Paul days, where it's like Ron Paul's record is so just stone cold consistent that you just know that with basically any politician in anywhere else in the country running for any office, you could be like, well, Congressman so-and-so, you said this, but then, or voted for this, but back in June of such and such year, you did this. You just can't do it with Massey. Just like you just couldn't do it with Ron Paul. It's physically impossible because you wouldn't find anything. So yeah, he has to just avoid it. Absolutely. He just has to avoid the topic.
Right.
It better not be another Donald Trump bit.
I wasn't shocked that our national security could have been heavily compromised. I'm shocked that with all the support that this administration gets from hardcore white nationalists, that the text chain didn't feature any racial slurs.
Dang, they really like that one.
But there was no joke. Like, I'm waiting for the joke. It was just a sentence. There was nothing there. Okay, I'm going to give it to him that was just basically a hang on from the previous bit. So
right.
Sure. So when it's time to actually start the next bit, I'm sure it won't have the words Donald and Trump in it. I'm sure it won't.
All right, let's find out.
There's no way.
Let's see.
Other countries are now warning their citizens not to travel to the United States because of threats to their safety. And that's just the health risks of eating at Taco Bell.
Whoa.
And he said Taco Bell. It's Taco Bell. So now I know that he's literally subhuman. He can't even read.
heavily
I
armed
don't.
as this
I'm not sure I understood why there's a random crack about Taco Bell anyway. Like, what did Taco Bell do to this guy?
I don't know.
I don't. And so I don't know. It's just a super weird random segue. But all right. Okay. All right.
is. I'm surprised they didn't issue this warning sooner. This is especially true when you consider that in my home city of Baltimore, we consider gunshots outside one's bedroom window a form of ASMR. I mean, I know these people. These are my people. They're the kind of people who are pissed off that The Wire is listed as a fictitious drama and not a PBS documentary. Howard Lutnick, the Secretary of Commerce, said that if his mother-in-law's Social Security checks were ever delayed or didn't come, quote, she wouldn't call and complain. I agree. Given that her son-in-law is a dipshit, she would probably bide her time, wait until Thanksgiving, and slip laxatives into his gravy.
Well, there you go. He's a dipshit, so laxatives in the gravy. Very mean, this guy.
I just don't know why. Like,
Democratic members of Congress have been holding town halls in the districts of their Republican colleagues who aren't holding any town halls of their own. My representative, Andy Harris, of course, hasn't held a town hall since 2017. To be fair, though, he's been too busy spending his time back in the district, holed up in his basement, and sucking his thumb while cradling a Gadsden "Don't Tread on Me" flag like a security blanket. For legal reasons, I have to say that's not true, to the best of my knowledge. And now on with the show.
He says that every time. I have to say, I don't know if that's true to the best of my knowledge. Yeah.
Okay. Tom Myers is a pedophile.
No, you
That
have to
is
say like
true.
Tom Myers is a pedophile.
Yeah. I have to say that this is actually true. Tom Myers is a pedophile. I just don't get it. Like, if you had shared this with me randomly during the week, been like, hey, click on this link, I would have been like, oh man, this is like such a funny parody of like a talk show.
Yeah.
You know,
That's what you said
like
the first time I showed you this.
Yeah, this can't be real, except for, sure enough, there's a whole library of this shit. At least he didn't talk about Trump the whole time. Yeah. He just says stuff.
When will this get funny? Yeah.
He just says
never
stuff.
get funny. Yeah.
Yeah. And well, you know what? I used to say that it was a knock on him that his monologues are only like 90 seconds long, but now I realize we're thankful that that's how long they are. So he's from Baltimore.
Yeah, he is a Baltimore, whatever they're called there.
Baltimore, an objectively failed city for all the obvious reasons, and those people running it. And he has the audacity to actually like mention it and be judgmental of others. I'm not sure I quite understood the whole deal of his representative and something about sucking a thumb and the Gadsden flag and all that. Like, is that his
he's
rep
not doing anything, I guess. I don't know.
Is that his rep from, I don't know.
I guess. I think he's a Republican, so maybe that's why, you know, he's all so butthurt about it.
I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that one lady was she was loving it.
I know.
Holy
man,
shit.
I hate these people too, Tom. They're so funny. Harold Lutnick, yeah, he is a dipshit. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
I love it.
It kind of sounded like my old friend Sherry just a little bit. The laugh.
Yeah.
But Sherry wouldn't be caught dead on Tom Myers, but
I mean, yeah, man.
But it sounded like it a little bit. All right, please no more.
Yeah, that's it. That's all I got for you.
All right, good.
You don't have to worry about it anymore.
Okay.
Tom Myers is officially done for the week. But do you like that little inflection that he does? You know, where he's like, I don't know, I can't remember what it was. It's like, oh, it's like ASMR. I don't know if that's just him trying to like give it a little extra oomph, do a little, So, yeah.
No, I ran out of extra oomph about 45 minutes ago when we should have been wrapping it up.
All right, the show is officially over. Alan, It's Too Late with Alan Mosley, Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Eastern time.
Yeah.
Where can they find it?
Right there. You just go to @AlanMosleyTV. Right there. It's Too Late with Alan Mosley, Wednesday nights, 9 o'clock Eastern time. On Twitch, X, YouTube, Rumble. Not Facebook. We got kicked off of Facebook.
Oh.
Yeah, so it's not on.
Sucks.
I don't know a lot of people that that was their go-to source. But
now I gotta go to Facebook to watch Alan Mosley. God damn.
No, they didn't like the episode where we did a happy merchant joke. They didn't.
Oh, right.
They didn't like it. Yeah, so it's over. That's an interesting thing I learned though. So I've learned. Last week guest with Pete Q was fun. That was a good. That's the episode. Yeah, that's the episode that got us kicked off of Facebook. But it's live still everywhere else. It's like it's not. So I don't know. They've got something in their little algorithms that they can because it wasn't even something we said. It was image on screen, and they're like, oh, got that. So man, that AI is getting good. The AI is starting to pinpoint when you're being objectionable, and they get you. So
that was a good episode, though. Yeah, he's right.
It was a good episode.
PQ is always was a good guest.
We totally didn't talk about. Yeah, we talked about those people, but yeah, I mean, I call them the little
Howard
hats.
Lutnick. Howard Lutnick. Tom Myers mentioned Howard Lutnick, and Howard Lutnick is one of those people that you were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very different kind of those people than the Baltimore ones I was talking about.
Yeah.
These are different those people's, but Anyway, man, Shane, where can people go to listen to this?
They can go to YouTube, and I forgot to do it because I know you've been trying to tell me to do it. So now we're on Twitch. So we're live on Twitch, and also on Twitter.
I just want you to know, by the way, that a random fan on X said, "I'm in my nightgown. I feel like it would be inappropriate to join the show." Well, I'll have you know, Shane and I don't wear pants.
That is true.
Podcasting. That's why. Yeah. So,
Oh, man. All right. Now, with those images in your head, it's over. The show's over. We'll see you next week. I figured we give them some extra time because we weren't here last week because you're on vacation, a much-needed vacation, on assignment. So that's what they say. They go, "Oh, you're out on assignment last week. All right, and here you're."
I mean, I told you you could just pull me up on the cell phone. That would be funny
if you're like driving. Hey, what's going on? Oh shit! Oh fuck! Yeah, you almost crash.
Yeah.
All right, for real, the show's over. Bye.